Hi everyone and welcome to episode 45 of Like, Share, Follow. And this week I have the amazing Yvette Davies, who's a graphic and web designer and social media strategist at Yvette Lillian Design Co. Hi,
Hi,
how you going?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. And so I've seen you graduated this year, was it?
Well, I guess technically, yeah, but I finished in last June.
Yep.
So almost a year ago. It's been almost a year since I've actually been on campus because of COVID.
Yeah, wow. And
Yeah.
so what have you been doing from then until now?
So right out of university, I took a job as a social media strategist for a international medicinal cannabis company. They have a company in Israel where they were kind of the founding company of medicinal cannabis. They have a UK branch, a USA branch, and then we were the Australian branch as well. And I was doing that part-time, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, coming back and honouring my own business journey as well.
Okay, and so tell me about your business. So, and you were telling me that you were taking on clients from your first year. So,
Yeah. As soon as I got to university, I thought, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. There's so much support at university. I'm just going to jump in and start offering services. And I knew that I could always come to yourself or any of my design teachers and get the support that I needed to, you know, either quote correctly or how do I lay out the invoice for that job or those kind of things. So I thought it was a really good starting point.
yeah,
Yeah, and so I offer graphic design, social media, and website design as well. Each I'm equally passionate about each, I think, and I love that I get to have that diversity in my role. So I'm not just stuck building out social media strategies. I also get to have that creative edge, which I really love.
yeah, and I mean, we had Lexi Guga on last week, and she was talking about how she used to be quite nervous about thinking of herself as being able to, as a student, offer her skills. And she said though that she had a conversation with a mentor at USC who then said, "No, you're not just a student; you're an emerging professional," and that really changed her mindset. So, did something like that happen with you? Did you what made you think, "Hey, I can actually do this"?
I had a conversation in one of the buggies around the university with one of the graphic design teachers, one of the senior design teachers, and I sort of had spoken to her about what should I be charging in my first year of uni and how do I honour that financial journey. And she said, don't undervalue yourself. You know, you're here at university and you've committed to this degree. So honour that. Don't honour that you're not good enough or you're not worth it or you're not enough. Don't go down that pathway, sort of go down this pathway. And then since then, I've always honoured that. So it was really strong and advice that I was able to take in my stride.
Yeah, and with the role that you had previously, what do you think set you apart from other people going for that role?
I think that with both social media and graphic design, I had a natural interest in both prior to starting university. My partner and I had a company called Davies, and it's a little bit of a merge of both of our last names. But we were offering social media services then, sort of 10 years ago, and graphic design services as well, website design services. So I had that natural interest in that. Whereas at uni, they start with a degree and they change degree for whatever reason, and they're trying to find themselves in the duration of their course, whereas I sort of already knew prior to going to university.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what's been some of the best career advice you've been given?
Oh, so many things. I think definitely know your worth, and don't undersell yourself is probably the biggest one. I think in several circumstances, I see social media being put on the back burner for marketing when in fact it's actually, as you are well aware, you know, it's not with digital marketing today. So for me, if I had a big company, I would want someone really strong in that position because they can either sink or make your business thrive, So one, valuing that person, and two, understanding and knowing your worth as well.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, unless you really understand it, you think social media is easy or it's free, but people just don't understand. To do it well, there's the strategic thinking that comes into it, the data analysis that you need, those skills to be able to really use data to inform what you do, and to continually improve and reach your audience, and just those sorts of things.
Yeah, you definitely need to be a little bit metric obsessed and know how to build out a really strong strategy to work from. For me, I definitely can see when people are posting random on social media without the backing of a strategy. So I think for me, that was a really key takeaway from the degree, was how to build a really good strategy and then how to implement that strategy. And then you can take leaps and bounds in your social media for sure.
Yeah, and even the strategy, and then applying that to the creative. So there's so many different facets.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yeah.
And so at university, what were some of the really useful things that you learned that you use in your business now?
Oh, so many. I think my number one takeaway from uni was, if you apply yourself, you get the results that you want. And not to go in and half-ass it, if I'm allowed to say that. If you're going to go and commit, then commit all the way. And I really tried to do that in my degree. And that also comes across in my business now, knowing how to use time management efficiently, knowing how I can work to a timeline, and also being confident that working with clients and confident that they'll get the best out of me as well, and making sure that I show up and give 100% every time, I think is really what uni taught me, because it's such an important facet, showing up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And giving being present and putting your attention into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then bringing that across into your own business as well. You can't really fail if you're showing up and being consistent and all of those kind of things. Yeah.
And so on the flip side of that, what is something you wish you'd learned at university that you really needed in your business?
I think definitely learning to honor the financial side of your journey. And I think because I had my business through uni, I felt like I could have had more support in, what should I charge and what's an appropriate amount, and how do agencies define that, and that kind of financial side of it, but also the small business side of it. And I know that social media isn't a business degree, but just having those little tidbits of information, I think, would have been really helpful for me. But not everybody's going to open their own business either, so it's really hard.
Yeah. Well, I think we are underway of trying to fix that, and it's actually in my performance PPR for this year too. You know how I run like the CV workshops, and having one to show students how they can actually set themselves up as sole traders to do social media management for businesses. So how to get an ABN, and also how to quote and those sorts of things. So they're absolutely concrete skills that students need. And while a lot of students aren't interested in doing that, there are some, and I think giving them those skills while they're at university. I mean, I still think, what an amazing way to make money while you're studying.
Absolutely.
Media, like it's a fantastic way. I wish I had that when.
And I think when you have that skill set, at some point in your career, you'll freelance. It's a given, whether you're doing it for your mum and dad, or your auntie, or your cousin, or whoever it is, you will freelance at some point in your career, in your journey. So understanding and having those skills. And by the way, attending that series that you did on YouTube, I've given that to all of my girlfriends, and they've all got jobs from it, which is amazing. Yeah, really good. It's hands down one of the best resources from out of uni that I've used, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, thanks. So, I mean, I'll put the link to those videos in the comments if anyone else wants to watch them.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I can't recommend those to any uni graduate high as there's such a, they give you so much information when you're out looking for a job, and because of that, I always get bites on my resume almost every time now. And you've seen my resume before too, so the after is way better, I can promise you.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, you just sort of pick things up as you go, like, but I think it's around communication, isn't it? It's like getting into the mind of the person who's going to be reading it, and then trying to and make it as easy as possible for them to find what they're looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So tell me, what is something, because you're still very much social media focused, what is something you've learned in the last couple of weeks, because social media changes all the time, that you have found quite interesting or useful? So some sort of hack or platform change or something.
Okay, so I have been redefining my own business, and I've batched out all my content from now till the end of the year. And I haven't ever batched content out that far before. It's always like 3 or 4 months. And so I learned how to do that. I designed myself 30 or 40 templates in Illustrator. And then I realized that I can change the quote. Say if I've got 40 templates laid up, I can export, you know, artboard number 1 1,000 times. So you can just change the quote, export it, change the quote, export it. So you're working really efficiently, which I loved. And I think to do the content from now to the end of the year probably took me 2 to 3 days. And that included taking a whole bunch of selfies as well. And I hadn't really done that before either. And looking, you know, I've got my little clicker for my iPhone, and then looking to make sure, you know, you're in the right aesthetic and the right colors and what's in the background and how do you look. And so I hadn't really looked at my own social media while I was working in medicinal cannabis. So I think one, as a social media strategist, you definitely should look at your own social media and learn how to execute that so that you can roll that over into any business as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's like your business card. So if someone's thinking of hiring you to do their social media, the first thing they're going to do is look at your social media and see what's going on there. So, yeah. And it's almost like tradies, you know, they're like a builder, they're like has half built projects all around their house. Like it's the last thing they want to do when they go home. And so you notice that with social media agencies, sometimes it's not their key focus because they're focused on their clients, but it really needs to be.
Absolutely. It's an investment in yourself. And I guess I've just realized that in the last couple of months. And a lot of other social media strategists that I know that work for bigger companies, and I look at their social media and there really isn't much on there. So, I've been really going, okay, you need to step up and show up and have a stronger presence and be consistent in posting and, you know, see how that really works, not for a company, but for myself. And then take what I learned from doing that over into a company.
Yeah. And make sure too that it's like that balance. So it's great to batch things out, but if something is happening that's really timely, that you know, at least you'll be free to actually jump on that.
Absolutely. And then you're free to do those kind of things and not have to stress or worry about, I haven't posted today, because actually you have, because you posted it out, scheduled it out. And then whatever happens on the day, or, you know, you can add that in anyway. So,
yeah. I mean, we at Darana Digital, one of our staff is like, we're going to be their client. So the agency is on the books as a client, and so that's the only way we make sure that we get the focus and the attention that we need, because we'll do the same thing. So
yeah, it is. It's like same with my website. You know, you do all the client work through the year, and then you're supposed to be updating it constantly, but then you don't because you're already focused on your clients. But you've got to make that return self-investment in yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's right. And so tell me, what advice would you give to emerging professionals who are currently studying or who've just graduated and are looking to enter the field or have just entered the field, what advice would you give them to help with the success of their career?
I think show up and step up and be the best version of yourself that you can be, and whatever that looks like for you. For me, keeping my mind clear is really important to me. So whatever stepping up looks like for you, then you should honor that, because this is it. Like, this isn't a dress rehearsal. Like, the time is now. I feel like, I genuinely feel like that. So yeah, you want to be the best that you can be, I think. Yeah.
And the most important question of the whole episode is, who do you like, share and follow?
Oh, so many people. I've got a list here, actually. I follow Tonic Site Shop. They do a lot of show up website designs, and they're really a leader in web design and being quite innovative with what they do. Jenna Kutcher, she's a mama from Minnesota, and she's quite inspiring to follow. Melissa Griffin, she was very innovative in introducing online courses, and she did a monthly income report, so she was very transparent about money, which I really love as well. Kate M. Foster, she's a local on the Sunshine Coast. She wrote a book called An Invitation to Trust, which is super beautiful. Shivananda Yoga in the Bahamas, of course. Dr. Karen Sutherland, of course. Katie Fauna, she's an amazing graphic designer from Los Angeles. Boss Babe, I love that they're a bit badass and inspiring women all over the world. Astrology Zone, because I'm a little hippie at heart, really. Jonah Jinton, she lives up in the Swedish, out in northern Sweden. She's just gorgeous, the stuff that she posts. She's very connected to nature. And then, of course, Dan Carter from the All Blacks in New Zealand.
An eclectic mix there. So, and I don't know if you can, but if you could maybe like tag some of those people in the comments so that other people can follow them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Diverse.
There goes your afternoon. No. Oh, that's great. And so we're coming to the end of the episode. So do you have any final words you'd like to share with the people watching?
I think that social media was an incredible choice to go and study. I actually had only an elective with you, and then after taking one class, I changed my whole degree to social media because you inspired me so much. I think that it's so relevant in the world that we're in right now, and it's so relevant to have a digital marketing person in that role now. I think that's changed over the last few years for companies where they sort of thought they could do it themselves, and now they're like, no, actually we need someone who specialises in that, which is pretty cool. But I do highly recommend the degree at USC with yourself. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's lovely. So thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us. So yeah, like next week we have Emily Yor, and Emily's a content marketing manager at Splice Marketing. And I think that's an agency that focuses on sort of healthcare social media. So that'll be
exciting.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And we've had a couple of comments. So Professor Dr. Bodhisattva Acharya said good morning to you all from India.
Good morning. Namaste.
And Dr. Renee Ralph just commented on Professor Acharya saying, how wonderful. Good morning to all of you from Australia.
So beautiful.
So we've got our viewers chatting to each other. So
yeah, we wish them well in India at the moment. Absolutely.
Oh, I know.
Everyone in India.
I hope it gets better. So
yeah. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate it.
And we'll see you next week for episode 46. So
guys, thank you.
Bye.